That was somebody that was in my life that saw me in a bad way and grabbed me by the shoulder and just kind of held me and shook me and talked some sense into me. And he said, you really think you suffering right now, you know, no friends, drinking, all this stuff, you really think that's how your dead buddies would want you to honor them? Like, you're wrong, you're stupid. You need to live your best life. That's how you honor them.
Hey, everybody in the room, give it up for the team from my dead friend, Zoe. Let's go. Did you ever anticipate you'd be called the team from my dead friend Zoe? Because as coming out, I was like, that is
Team sport.
Yeah, I didn't workshop that, but you know, I think it worked. I think
We
it
were a
worked.
platoon. That makes more sense.
You're a
Platoon.
platoon. Yeah, you're a platoon. You guys, congrats on this film. It is so beautiful. I was telling you earlier, it just hits you squarely in the heart by the end. It's so poignant. It's so emotionally powerful. Such a beautiful tale of friendship between you two guys. My dead friend Zoe, of course, centers around a veteran from the Afghanistan war, played by Sonequa's character, who's having PTSD, and that's manifested in these visions she has of her late friend, played by Natalie. And from what I understand, and as the film makes clear, it's inspired by some real life friendships. So Kyle, we're going to come to you for this. Tell us how your experiences manifested into this beautiful story.
I've been trying to make this movie for maybe 20 years. When I got out of the military the first time, it was a colonel of mine that saw something in me and set me on this path to tell the soldier's story. So that was back in 2004. I eventually made my way to film school and got pulled out of film school to go to Iraq. And I just really kind of had every experience that the typical soldier would have back home and downrange. And I lost some friends, and I had my own PTSD. And anyway, all of that, I've been too afraid. Didn't have the courage to talk about for so long until COVID came, and I really had some time to reflect and finally started to put words on a page. And everybody in my community and writing group was so supportive, and it just grew from there. There was a short film at one point. It's kind of like a proof of concept. And then eventually the script got to these amazing people, and it was just 100 miles an hour from there.
And Sonequa and Natalie, what kind of responsibility was that then for you guys? Twofold, right? Like not only telling this incredibly personal story, but also portraying military.
I mean, we took it so seriously. It was the utmost responsibility. It was, I approached it as duty. It was an honor. It was a blessing for me. When Kyle reached out to me, I was just so moved by him. I was moved by his courage and his bravery, and I was moved by his why, because his mission was very specific, and he wanted to serve. He wanted to just keep serving, and I wanted to stand with him to do that. There was no thought put into it whatsoever. It was to save and help, and that meant everything to me. And then being able to tell his story and being able to tell it with you and being able to tell it with the two of you as well.
And also Ed Harris.
That's right. And
Morgan Freeman.
Those two that wish they could be here. But no, we were all honored to stand with him because of the mission and because of him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I could cry.
Yeah.
We could just cry right here.
Yeah, you want to pass the mic to Natalie? Tell us how impactful this was for you personally to make.
Well, to not repeat exactly what Sonequa said, let's see if I can come up with something that doesn't repeat exactly what Sonequa said.
You can just say ditto.
Yeah,
ditto,
I mean,
ditto.
I thought I did, but I'll I'll say that it's interesting because I've always really felt such a passion for veterans and how poorly they're treated in this country by the people that put them in danger. And I feel like we really should take care of our veterans so much more than we do and that we have. And it's always been an issue for me, as I know it is for many. And so it was a bit of a challenge for me to do this, but Kyle wrote such a uniquely special script that was funny and true to life and more about people than it is about soldiers. It's about people who happen to be soldiers. And and that was what attracted me to it the most. And also, I think if I came at it from that angle about the fact that these are people who just happen to have these jobs for very different reasons, then I could bring some honesty to it. And that's what I was going for. Did that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
100%. Gloria, tell us how meaningful this story was for you personally to tell and what sort of experience you had telling
I'll take the other
it.
microphone. I'll tell it on 2 microphones.
There you go.
Because I'm a Gemini, so I just need to. It was extremely meaningful and very powerful and poignant right from the beginning, from reading the script the first time, and just as these two ladies so beautifully said, the human story of it all, and also the respect and the honesty of portraying veterans. That it's that honest, that kind of breaking down the perceptions or preconceptions of a veteran's life. The first time that I've ever read or seen anything that talks about, that shares these kinds of fundamental human experiences. And then just on a personal note, what was happening in my life just happened to, this happens a lot for me, parallel this story that Kyle so beautifully wrote. So I was immediately drawn to it on that level. And it also reflected some past experience. I reflected on past experiences, and from reading the script and then talking to Kyle, it just kind of opened up this whole new possibility of healing and hope, and how to break down those boundaries or those walls of silence and secrecy and shame, and how those things can be killers in their own right. Silence, secrecy, and shame. So it's really a powerful, beautiful, funny, just unexpectedly. I've been in this business for about 92 years, and this is definitely one of the handful of projects that I'm so proud to be a part of. So
UTK, you shared your reaction to the film with us earlier when you watched it for the first time. Can you share that with us on camera? It sounds like it's going to hit people hard, and it certainly hit you hard, even though you were in it.
First of all, Screen Rant, you got to do a top 10 list of haunted characters, and Zoe and Merritt deserve to be on the list, okay? Because I know you are in that top 10 stratosphere.
Little listicle action.
Most of you guys are like, this isn't a top 10 list.
Yep.
I'm done watching.
Yep.
Top 10 haunted characters in movies. I think... First of all, the relationship between Sonequa and Ed Harris's character as a granddaughter and grandfather is so strong. They're such willing scene partners, and to watch the work happen between them is really gripping. You can tell how much care and grace has been put into every performance and every nuance of the script and the production value. And most of the people that worked on the production are either vets or family of veterans. So everybody here really gives, really cares. And you can feel that. And I was watching the movie with my wife, and as the final credits rolled, I don't cry often, but her and I looked at each other and we're just bawling. And I called Kyle immediately and let him know that I had cried. And then I had several thoughts on the film on how to improve his job. No. I was like, I got notes. But I think it's like Rocky. It's like a story of overcoming.
By the way, he means on a first cut. Not on
First cut. No. This was last night. I definitely was like, I gotta change it before
Utkarsh.
I don't like the color of my shirt. There's light and hope and power in this story. And I think as anyone who's been confronted with mental health issues and the darkness that people can go to be able to see Merritt in particular go through a journey like this and come out where she comes out, and her family as well, how this is a swivelly chair, how they are affected and how they can grow as a unit. I mean, it's really inspiring. It's well done, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be a part of it.
Utkarsh. Thank you. You bring that light. A lot of that light is what you brought, and you.
Kyle, you may have, I discovered recently, one of the best bios on IMDb. It reads, like all filmmakers, he got his start as a paratrooper in the U.S. Army. We talked about your service a little bit earlier, but that's definitely one of the things I think is really going to stick out for people, that we've seen PTSD portrayed in films before, but you can oftentimes it feels like it's being told from an outsider's perspective. It's told, it's the military is looked at also here with such reverence. It's not a cynical look. It's really with a lot of respect for the people you're portraying. As you guys mentioned, there were a lot of vets that were cast in the supporting characters. Was that one of the things that sort of inspired you to go into filmmaking? Because I just wonder, like, of all the films that are made of the military, how many were actually made by veterans? Probably not. Maybe some of them were written, but probably not that many. Was that frustrating to you? And did that actually inspire you to become a filmmaker?
300%. I mean, Oliver Stone, Platoon, is one, but there have been very few. And
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. Accurate portrayal. I guess I'm one of those annoying people that would say, like, I've always been into movies and making movies back on my high 8, whatever, making skate videos and the high school class video and the tennis video and all that stuff. And I came into the Army not as a let's go to war. I enlisted a month before 9/11. I joined the Army because I wanted some adventure. My grandfather, who's played by Ed Harris in the film, I wanted to follow in his footsteps. And then I'm a month into basic and 9/11 happened and everything completely, the ground shifted under me. So I was kind of like this artist that was thrust into this world and this culture that isn't often really portrayed on film, and I was just like a sponge. I was at this jungle warfare training center in Louisiana. We did airborne operations. Eventually I was in Iraq, a convoy commander, and kind of like these ladies were saying, like, soldiers, I guess they make us all look the same, by design. It's very tactical, but surprise, there's humans under there. And that are also like sponges, and these things that happen to you, you have to do something with them at some point. And we're very good at compartmentalizing because you have to suck it up and drive on. What they don't teach us how to do is how to release that, and that's the real work after. And that's what Morgan Freeman's character does in the film. He plays a Vietnam veteran that was somebody that was in my life that saw me in a bad way and grabbed me by the shoulder and just kind of held me and shook me and talked some sense into me. And he said, you really think you suffering right now, no friends, drinking, all this stuff, you really think that's how your dead buddies would want you to honor them? Like, you're wrong, you're stupid. You need to live your best life. That's how you honor them. That was the big paradigm shift for me. That's why that character's in the film. And then that's why all of these people, like Merritt's mother, played by Gloria, is trying to get her to talk about it, to move on. Utkarsh, which is the love interest, is somebody who's just like there to listen, that's also been through it. So like veterans have an immense amount of things to teach people, and we also have an immense amount of things to learn. It's like a culture clash.
What is a day like on set with Morgan Freeman? I mean, is he just dropping knowledge like left and right, like little breadcrumbs all over the floor?
Oh my goodness.
Is he telling you all about penguins?
He's so funny and charming. He's so charming. And he was singing a song once in a scene that we were doing in between takes. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, you've got a beautiful singing voice. And he said, well, yeah, he said, I sing. And I said, oh, I didn't realize that you sang. Thank you for serenading me. No, he was fantastic. And it was really hard. We've been talking about this today. It was hard to be professional. Mm-hmm. It was hard. It was definitely hard for me. I think it was hard for you too at one point because this is Morgan Freeman, and I needed to give him some attitude, and I wasn't getting there, and he had to pull me aside and be like, "This is not Morgan Freeman right now," because I'm just like, because of course, like you said earlier, we grew up. We grew up with him. We grew up with Ed Harris, and you think that you're going to just be right on top of it, right on target, super professional about it. But then you get in the moment and, and you sort of melt.
The one anecdote I'll say is there's a veterans group that's portrayed in the film, and it's played by my friends who are also professional actors, but also veterans. And to kick it off before we started filming, I had everybody in the circle stand up, and one would stand up and say, "My name is Tom. I was Army. I'm Alicia, Air Force. I'm Richard. I was a Marine platoon lieutenant in Vietnam." We made our way all the way around. I said, "I'm Kyle. I was a paratrooper in the Army." And the last person said, "My name is Morgan Freeman, U.S. Air Force." He's a veteran as well. So that's a big reason why we reached out to him too. He connected with every single one of the veterans, and in between our takes, that rap group, that veteran circle, it was just so cool. He was just engaging with everybody, and these are big stars. Morgan's a huge star. Everybody's there to do the work, but in that little safe space, it was like a veterans group. It really was. It was really special.
I'm sure nobody else at South by is going to ask you guys about this, but there's a producer on this film named Travis Kelce, who may have won a few Super Bowls, maybe in a relationship that people really care about right now. But how did he come on board? How did Travis get involved?
One of the producers of this film, Ray Maiello and Mike Field of Radiant Media Studios, they have a connection to somebody on Travis's team, and they got the script and the short that I had made and the deck to them. They reviewed the material. They were incredible. Travis is supportive of veterans in the military, and they decided to come in and support the film. And it was so surreal, and we've been so grateful. He's really brought so much additional attention, and ultimately, selfishly, I want people to enjoy this film, but I want it to affect change. So the more eyeballs that are on this film, there's going to be a veteran somewhere. I don't know who they are, but they're going to see this film, and it's going to be the little nudge that convinces them to talk about it, just to talk about it. And I think what Travis did for us is just like this tidal wave of energy and exposure. And so, we're so excited to have him.
Were you guys all rooting for the Chiefs?
Yeah.
You're like, that's our producer.
Of course.
That's
It's
our
very
producer.
exciting.
I'm grateful for him. So yes,
I just do have one, sorry to interrupt. I have one question for Travis a comment actually. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I don't know why we let him go, why he went to Kansas City. I'm just happy that he's part of this. That's it.
Yeah,
No, you look so serious. I'm kind of joking. But.
I'm a Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh,
I just get tortured
mercy.
by him on an annual basis.
I'm so sorry about that.
I'm really trying not to cry right now. You guys are making me cry again. Yes, the music's great in this. There's a cover. You guys come right out of the gates with an amazing Rihanna cover. Amazing. Beyond.
Funnily, Sonequa didn't go, "Wow, you have a beautiful singing voice" to me. So I'll just take that for what it is. Yeah.
I should also say that
you have a beautiful singing voice, Natalie.
Well, of course I do.
Of course I do.
Anyway, sorry.
But have you guys heard UTK freestyle?
Oh, are you gonna get asked to freestyle again? This is a theme? You should just have written something and pretend you're freestyling it every time.
Yeah.
I got a friend and her name and she's dead.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really, really
Wow, you
great
can really
content.
freestyle.
I got a dead friend.
Yeah.
No
And I bring the light.
Screen rant. Top 10 dead friends. Okay.
Top 10 dead friends.
What am I gonna say? Oh, I wanted to say I'm asking. I'm a big music guy, so South by is about more than film and television. Obviously, there's a very robust musical program.
It's about barbecue.
It's also about barbecue. It's about music. I want some musical recommendations. What are some groups that might be new or flying under the radar that you guys could recommend to everybody? We'll go around the horn.
I'll go first just to give people a chance to talk. I am going to use this opportunity to plug. There's an artist named Kaya Cater who created an original song with our amazing composer, Dan Romer, from Beasts of the Southern Wild, Beasts of No Nation. They collaborated on a final end credit song that's told from Merritt's perspective. Her name is Kaya Cater. Check her out. Dan Romer, check him out.
My buddy Heems, who's a rapper, just came out with an album with Lop Gum. Yes. And it's incredible. Heems' new album is like the best hip-hop album of the year. Not just because he's my buddy, but because he's very, very proficient on the microphone. So I like him a lot. Listen to that.
Got YOD on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Cool Keith. Gloria also liked Heems's album and wants you to listen to that too.
Nice. And if you like gospel, like I do, there's a new gospel rapper named Childlike Cece. She's fantastic.
Okay.
I'm going to recommend an artist by the name of Victoria Canal.
Yeah.
She's about to. Oh, you guys know her. Great.
Yeah, I
She's
love her.
amazing. She just was the musical guest at a show that I do in LA. She just was my last musical guest.
She's
She's amazing. And
yeah.
she's going on tour this summer. And she's great.
I'm going to shout out our mutual friend, Rabbi Darkside.
Yeah.
Watch out for that
Rabbi
new Rabbi
D.
Darkside. Sam Sellers. He goes by Sam Sellers.
Sam
now.
Sellers.
R.I.P.
There's also
Rabbi
a guy
Darkside.
named Utkarsh.
Who?
Yeah, I mean, look, I got a lot of
freestyles.
music. Come check me out on wherever music is gotten for free these days.
We're actually having a team in tomorrow for a documentary series called How Music Got Free.
Yeah.
And none other than Method Man will be here, the narrator of the series. I'm very excited about that.
That's the Method Man rapped out. You know it's him.
Oh man,
Breathing
that's
in through the
right. He
teeth.
does. And remember, Natalie has a
Here I
beautiful
am.
singing
Here
voice.
I am. Yeah.
Torch him up.
Check her out as well.
You guys, thank you all so
my
much
dead
for
friend
being
Zoe.
here. Guys, give it up
Thank
for the
you.
team from my dead friend, Zoe.
Woohoo! Screen Rant.
Thank you guys.
Dad.
Thank you guys.